What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Noonchi Podcast. Today we have a special guest. We haven't had a guest in a while. Today we have musician, singer, songwriter David O in the house. Woohoo!
Welcome to the show, man.
What's up, David? What's up, David? We actually met David today. My friend Christine was like, "You need to get my boy David on the." That is an exact imitation of her voice, but but I did some little research. I even went into the Korean research world, and it gave me a fucking headache because I don't like reading Korean for a long time. But David is from San Francisco.
Yes. All right.
Oh, so
born and raised?
No, actually, I was born in Korea, but I moved when I was 4.
Okay.
But pretty much, yeah, I'm Bay Area native.
Damn right. Fucking 2 West Coast versus 1 East Coast motherfucker, right? So David, before we started rolling, you said that you came to Korea like 10, 11 years ago, right?
Yes, I did.
Was it for the sole purpose of I'm going to be a kasu here, or was it more like some kyopos, I want to find myself and learn about the motherland and whatnot? Was it like, fuck it, I want to be a kasu in Korea?
Actually, it was because of being kasu.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I had the opportunity to go on an audition program. For 위대한탄생 on NBC.
Oh yeah.
And so I at that point I wanted to pursue music, and then so I was deciding on going to school. I was trying to enter Berkeley at the time in Boston, or do an audition program and then try to get to Korea, because I thought it'd be a good opportunity. And so that came, and then I kind of just tried it, and then like it kind of went well for me. So
at that time, like I'm not too familiar with like the how do you say, like the kyopo lineage of musicians, right? You know what I mean? Because like there was like the wave of like in the 90s of like
early 2000s,
like fucking solid, like John and Jaehyung, and then like George Hyung came, right? And then like Min and Crystal came as one, and Jay came, and
Brian Ju.
Yeah. So like
the list goes on.
So is there like a this is what I'm curious about. Is there like a kyopo fucking kasu moim, like a how do you say, like a group?
Do you guys have a katok bang room?
Like a group chat of like, yo,
other
like,
kyopo.
Yeah.
I know. Like we have like there's like I guess a moim with like.
Oh really?
People. So like we, since COVID happened, we haven't really hung out that much. But like pre-COVID, like we used to like go play basketball.
Oh, nice.
Like once in a while.
Oh,
okay.
The kyopo moim.
Well, you came 10, 11 years. I came around the same time too.
Okay.
Actually, on June 1st will be my 11-year anniversary in Korea. So in a couple days.
Is it 2011?
2011.
2011.
Yeah.
I think I came end of 2010. So it was pretty much.
Okay.
Oh shit! He just humbed you. He just flexed on your ass.
I'm trying to remember who else was here. I feel like Megan was on one of those shows too, right?
We actually auditioned together.
Oh, same season.
Same season.
Oh my
she
God.
also went on again, I think.
Oh, was she on again? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we were. I auditioned in LA, and then only 10 of us got picked out there, and then Megan was one of the 10 people. And so we got together before, and then we traveled to New York to do another audition. So that's when I got to meet Megan.
Oh, cool.
And her mom.
Yeah. Her mom's a super, super cool person. Elaine, right?
Always sweet to me. So you got on that show. It says on the my Korean research skills, you got on the top 5.
Yes, I got
it. Right. So obviously top 5 is a big deal. After that, like obviously you went from this kyopo that probably didn't know much about Korea to like being on TV and like, David.
You're Korean? How is your Korean? Or was
so
it
I thought I was kind of good at Korean.
Yeah.
And then I came here and I couldn't speak to anybody.
Yeah, man. Like I thought my Korean was on point. And then I came to visit him right when he moved, like maybe a month later, I came to visit him for my first time. I was like, I don't know. I mean, my Korean was better than his.
Yeah.
But then
I'm different from you guys because I I knew my Korean was bad coming into it. Just like,
but mine was like, I was like, I'm fluent, because, speaking to my parents in Korean and stuff, like I thought I got this shit. Yeah. Right. But then the thing is like the Korean that I learned was like when they immigrated, which was like 1978. So I had 1978 Korean words in my brain.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm saying Korean words that Korean people in the 2000s never, like, they were like, who says that shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of them were like Japanese based.
Oh.
I had no idea until I came here.
Like, 단무지.
Yeah.
Our parents called it 닭광.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wait, your parents didn't say?
I don't think I've heard it called that.
Oh man, dude,
we're aging ourselves.
Yeah. He's like fucking ajashis. So you come to Korea. You thought you could speak Korean, and you were like, oh, I clearly do not know.
Yeah, I do not know.
Like, what was the first thing that was kind of like a, I don't know, like a culture shock, or you had something in your head about Korea and it kind of, for good or bad, like changed or broke that perception?
I think maybe some, like, I've heard about, like, and you've seen on TV about like drinking culture here. So like it was very like eye opening for me. And also I think like the 선배 후배 kind of stuff. Like, in America we're just kind of like on the same level. You're just kind of like 1 year older is like 형, like 누나. So like that kind of stuff, like I knew of and I also was a part of, like, in America, but like I think it was a little bit more like next level here.
It's more aggressive here.
It's very kind of more aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, I know it, like, if it's like 1 or 2, I even like 4 years, because me and him are 4 years apart. But like I go look, and I say this on stage sometimes. I go, just because your parents fucked earlier than mine, right? I gotta like call you, like I gotta like respect you. And I was like, you're just a product of your parent. Like, you didn't do shit. You're just a product of that shit. You know what I mean? And then when I say that, like, the older Koreans,
it's like they link it to, like, if let's say I'm 4 years older than you, so I co-sang 4 years more than you. Like like Confucianistic, like, I'm wiser because I've lived on the planet longer. Clearly I'm more wise. I learned the lesson more because when I met other people that were born the same year as me, then you call them 친구, right? That was a big deal to a lot of people I met that were my age. Yeah. And I realized, because it's like, oh, we're sort of going through the same stuff now. Yeah. Or we went through the same things already. Yeah. So for Koreans, it's a little bit more literal because they go through the same kind of education system. They go through a lot. They do kunde and a lot of things, right? So like, it makes more sense that they would tie you into your age, right? But for us, it's like, I had friends that were 10 years older than me or 20 years older than me. I don't know their ages. Like, I have friends that are 1 or 2 years but we never discuss age, right? And then here, but it's like almost certainly in the first time you meet, you have that conversation. It's like unavoidable, right? So,
well, apparently how they have the Korean age. Well, the current or the new Korean president is going to eliminate Korean age
until the next president comes and brings it back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing that was kind of confusing too. Like,
Korean age.
Yeah, you're born in the same year, but it's like, I'm born in January, so you have to call me 형. So
was there any pushback, or were you the type of person to be like, nah, I guess, I mean, when in Rome type of, or were in your soul you're like, yo, fuck that shit?
No, I try to, since I'm in a like new country and stuff, I try to like assimilate myself into it. And then but then there are a couple of times where like 형's like, oh, David, just because I'm your 형, like, you're from America, like 말 놔. And so I'm like, okay, so I did 말 놔 before. And then sometimes like later on they'd be like, oh, you're being disrespectful. So like after that I kind of don't 말 놔 to older 형's.
Did you have to go to kunde?
No, I didn't have to.
Oh, okay. So but did you go through the hoops of like was it did you almost have to go? This guy almost had to go.
Yeah, I'm an American citizen, but
why?
Well, the story is like, I'm an American citizen. I came to visit Korea a few times, but then what happened was, technically, when my parents gave birth to me, they were Korean citizens. They were on like a visa, right? So American law is if you're born in that country in America, then you're an American citizen. Korean law is if you're a citizen, no matter where you're born, and you're that. So I had dual citizenship without knowing it. So like I came here like 5 years ago, so I was 35, right? And then so I get here, and then at the Korean embassy in LA, they give me the visa, right? The F4 visa to get over here. So I get over here to get that stupid ID card, and they're like, "Oh, but 근데 you have dual citizenship, right?"
Wow.
And I was like, "Why?" You know, because they didn't put my name on the hojak, the family registry, right? So I learned the most useless Korean phrase I've ever heard in my life, which is this. I go, if I have dual citizenship, that means the embassy didn't need to give me an F4 visa, right? And they're like, yes, but they gave me an F4 visa, right? So what do I do? Well, so what happened? Isn't it the government's fault, right? And you know what that lady said? She was like, 그러게요. Right? And I was like, that doesn't help me. 그러게요 is such a useless ass phrase, right? And so, and then so it was like a long journey, like a stressful journey of like getting my name on the Korean registry and then like renouncing my citizenship and all that. And there was like a split, maybe like a window where I was like, oh, I might have to go to the army.
Well, we had a friend that actually was here vacationing, and then on his way back at the airport, going back to the States, they were like, "Oh no, actually, you got to go to the army." They sent him straight to the army, and he spent 2 years.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So there's a lot of horror stories like that. For me, when I came here, I was 34. And at the time, that was too old for kunde. But every year I was here, they kept upping. But I kept like beating them. Like I kept being just 1 year old enough to not have to go. So I never have to really do it.
They've raised it to 40 now.
Oh, you can go to when you're 40?
Yeah.
Because now they just like, even if you're too old or you have like, they can give you a desk job. So put some good use to your time.
So now that you get on the show, you do well, like what was your life like? Like was it like after you got the TV shine and whatever, like was there, as the Koreans call it, love call 많이 들어왔어요?
So afterwards, so I'm kind of an introverted person, so I guess that show did really well back then. So when I go walk around and stuff like that, people would recognize me, and it was kind of uncomfortable. Just like us going out for some coffee or something.
Right.
People were like, oh, can we get pictures and stuff?
Right.
So that was kind of uncomfortable then. But I didn't really get that much love calls because after finishing the program, I signed right away with the label. So
wait, what's a love call? I that totally went.
It means kind of like attention. Also like love calls also mean like you get gigs like 소속사s come after you.
I thought it was like fans being like, hey, do you want to make love?
I guess I feel like that's a better definition for what love calls should be, but,
I do without any information. If you're like, if you ask someone, you know what a love call is?
It's probably,
I'm not interested.
It sounds like a more polite way of saying phone sex, really, but then right, but instead it means like 방송국 and like 소속사s, like hitting them up. Okay. So you sign right away.
Yeah.
They have their own label, right? Or is it like a?
So during WeTime there was 5 judges, and so I was under Bang-seok, and then so I just he was my mentor during the program.
Oh shit!
And then so I just decided to.
Who's that? I don't know anything.
BTS's head.
Oh really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you ended up with.
Yeah,
label.
I was in Big Hit for 5 years.
Oh wow,
yeah, so.
Amazing. Okay, cool.
And but was BTS around when you were there?
The concept of BTS was around, and so like I actually dormed with a couple of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, you didn't tell them what Kyopo's know BTS stands for?
I tried to tell them. It's like, I don't think you should give me that,
because I said it on stage and the army looked at me like, why is he making fun of our oppas? I was like, I'm not making fun of him. Like, we know what it means. Yeah. Okay.
It predates that.
Yeah. So okay. So you were rooming with them. Oh, so you had to have like a, what do you call it?
A dorm.
Yeah. It was like a dorm situation. It was just me and like a lot of like boy trainees, and so it was kind of like a college experience, I guess, in a way.
Is it like that? Like, is it like so is it like you share rooms together, or you're like in the same complex together?
We had like bunk beds, like
bunk beds.
Like
okay,
10 of us with like 8 beds, and so
8 people in one room.
Yeah, so we'd play rock paper scissors to like for the people to sleep on the floor. And then so
there are people on the floor, people on bunk beds. And so you did rock, paper, scissors every day, or is like a monthly thing, or like a?
I think like it was like every day.
Every day.
Yeah,
God damn.
Oh my gosh, that's like that's hardcore. Like so.
I think you can only do it when you're young. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. So you slept on the floor sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes I sleep on the floor because some of them would like snore, so I go outside and sleep on the living room floor.
Oh man, it's even like
damn, like dude, that's even worse than what do you call it? Like a dorm room.
Yeah, because I mean, 8 people in a room,
that's like a fucked up hostel situation, right?
I mean, depending how big the room is and the ventilation, like, there's a lot of guys farting and like a lot of crazy smells, right? You guys are like training and stuff like that. So,
so did you sign up, and was it originally a plan for you to go solo, or for you to be like a boy band?
I wanted to be solo, and so I did sign an artist contract with them. So I didn't really stay in the dorm for that long. They eventually gave me my own dorm. But it was for just being a solo.
Okay. Yeah. So like if they were like, hey, but David, you should fucking, like go to.
They did be like, oh, do you want to try? I'm like, I don't.
Do you also play an instrument or you just? Oh,
I play guitar.
You play guitar when you perform?
Yeah.
Okay, so. That's difficult, Danny, to dance and play guitar at the same time. I'll just let you know. It's not impossible.
Dolly Parton does it. That's cool, man. I didn't know about the big hit situation.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, I was there for a couple of years.
So what made you go, all right, enough? Was it like a mutual, like...
Okay, so I was in Big Hit, but I didn't really debut under Big Hit, and so I was just kind of just there because I think they weren't really sure what to do with me. Like they didn't know how to like market me, I guess, and then so I was just kind of there for maybe 3 years, and then so I was just practicing and training.
Okay,
and then eventually I kind of got transferred to another company. And that's when I kind of debuted.
Okay,
but didn't you weren't you on a few like variety shows?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Was that
was when I was under Big Hit, and that was just right after I finished the audition.
Okay. So do you write your own material, or do you work with other writers and producers?
Back then I would like write and work with other people, but as of right now I'm just kind of trying to get better at like my craft. So
nice. Okay.
See, because Bobby is a very the Korean word is konde. Right? when it comes to like being a quote unquote a true artist, right? I remember when we would talk, when we have drunken talks about like, man, these it was that. But so he loves to hear that you are trying to work on your own craft and be
for me, it's
songwriter.
Like everyone, whoever you are, even if you're singing other people's songs or everyone has a voice,
right?
They have like their own struggles and their own upbringing, and it's so unique that if you can pinpoint like your own well of artistry,
right,
like I think that's your biggest contribution to the world. I mean, generally speaking, in my mind, I think that's very important when it comes to like discovering actual, true, unique art, right? And so for me, it's like I tell myself that because I'm also an artist, and so I've been doing music for like 20 years now, and none of my albums have done well, but I continue to do it because, you know, at least there are some people that like appreciate it, right? So I know I'm not completely wasting my life, but at the same time, like I recognize that in the artists that I love, right? So I think there's something to be said about if you're going to choose the life of an artist, you might as well have your own voice, you know? And so, I mean, it's okay to let other people kind of help you get to where you need to get, you know, because they've been down those roads before, right? And so they're helping you get to where you need to get. But like, eventually you're going to have to be responsible for your own unique voice and whatever it is you're trying to do as an artist, you know? So
like I said, Conde.
Do you do everything?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a singer-songwriter and I sing these sad folk songs, basically. And I do, you know, like I'm not like I produce my own stuff. Like I'm a bedroom artist to a certain extent, but like I can't do it all, right? Like I'm not great at mixing. Can't master my own stuff, you know, but it's something I think like, at least for what I do as just writing songs and it works for me. You know, I think it's important when I meet people like you, like I'm rooting for you. Yeah, because I think it's really important that you know, find your voice. Everyone has one.
All right, so here's a question as the only non-musician in this room. What was the first song or artist that you listened to that made you go, I want to do this shit?
Okay.
Like, what is there a song or artist that like really went, oh? Like, you know, there's as a, you know, when I was young, like I would listen to music and be like, or whatever. Like I watched stand-up comedy, right? And I was like, oh, that's funny. But there was a comedian that I saw and I was like, oh my God, I want to do this shit. Who was
the comedian?
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, okay.
Yeah. Def Comedy Jam. I was like, this is not even jokes. He's doing something completely different.
It was very different. I think when I think of Bernie Mac, I do think of those Def Comedy Jam things where he's like, he gets like the DJ or someone to play music at the punchline, right? For me, it was a Christian. Like I grew up in the church, and so there was this artist, Stephen Curtis Chapman. He's like a CCM artist, and I used to. I got into him because I wanted to learn how to play guitar like him. And then I really loved his songs growing up as well. So I used to mimic him, do everything I could to play like him, to sound like him. And eventually it just kind of like, I realized like, I got to stop the copying, right? Everyone starts off as a copycat, right? For me, it was Stephen Curtis Chapman. But I don't listen to him now though. Yeah. I don't know what he does.
What about you?
I think it was Blink-182.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like during middle school. Like I think that was like the first time my friends introduced me to like punk rock music.
Yeah.
And then that was like one of my like first musics that I was like, oh, I really like this. And I went out of my way to look for. And then so I was just like, I'm just watching them on like, I mean, I used to listen to them and they had this like live like show thing, which is they're just talking about like dick jokes on stage. And then they're just singing. And like, I thought that was kind of fun. I was like, wow, I kind of want to do something like that.
Yeah, I remember they did one time they got a music video budget from their label. Yeah, it was probably like $100,000 or something. And basically what it was, they had someone follow them with a camera and they just gave away the money. Something like that. I thought that was like,
that's pretty rad. Really cool. Yeah, I mean, even one of them they do. What was it? They did that other band, Angels and Airwaves.
Oh yeah,
right. Was that one of the singers started?
The guitarist,
right?
The one.
Yeah.
That was a good band too. It was very different from Blink-182, but that music video basically is what like Big Dawes and what do you call it? That guy, like these days they have those YouTubers that give away money and stuff.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. Yeah. They basically started that trend. If you think about it, like artists like Blink-182. That's like with Travis Barker, right?
So after listening to like Blink, like in the beginning? Were you trying to be like?
Yeah, I wanted to be like them. I wanted to like get my friends to be in a band. So like we all learned instruments and we're like, oh, let's like take off our shirts and like play shows like naked and stuff.
Did you have a band? Like,
I mean, we tried, but then a lot of them once we got into high school, they're like, I want to study.
Oh, really?
At the time, I wanted to like my hero at the time was Mark Hoppus, who was the bassist.
Yeah, Mark Hoppus. Yeah.
So like I wanted to play bass and like sing like him, but then like it's kind of hard to write songs on bass. And so I kind of switched over to guitar and I kind of just stuck with it.
We have a really good friend who, his name is DPD, and he was in a band, a Korean American punk rock band.
Yeah.
Oh,
like in the early 2000s.
Oh.
Yeah.
They started off as Nemo.
Yeah.
The name was Nemo. This is before
the fish. Before the fish. right.
That movie totally screwed them over. But then they changed their name to Red Team Go.
Yeah.
But DPD was the lead singer of this punk rock band, right? And he would take his shirt off all the time.
Yeah. And I was like, "What are you doing, bro?" All right. You don't
check it out though. If you can, do a search on it. Like,
I didn't know.
Actually, when it comes to punk rock, a lot of Korean Americans like were like here or there. Like there are a lot of people like you remember Bitch? I don't know if you remember. There's a group called Bitch Magnet.
I remember that.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
If you look them up too, they're very.
I'll look them up later.
For me, it was like seeing other Asian Americans or Korean Americans actually doing something they're not supposed to. Was so appealing to me, you know. So that's why they gave me like purpose in terms of like, oh, I can do music too, like kind of thing. So in 2005, I put my first album out.
Oh wow!
Due to a lot of like, there weren't a lot of people that I saw and were like, oh, they're doing it. Like I can do it too.
Right.
Did you ever grow up like feeling like maybe you don't see a lot of Asian American faces and
so there was a band called Daphne Loves Derby like back in 2000. They're like the front man was he was a Korean guy too.
Oh really?
And then they were pretty popular for a little bit, like kind of not like mainstream, but like from the indie scene they're like really big.
It does sound familiar, the name. Yeah.
And then so like I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like there's a Korean guy and like he's like doing music like with like, you know, in America. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. I kind of want to be like that. Because there's not a lot of representation when I was younger.
Right.
So yeah, there were one band that was like, wow, I kind of want to be like.
So upon more Korean research, I found out that your mom was also a musician.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was fairly popular in Korea. Yeah. So when you said, Mom, I want to do music, like because she did it, was it easier to convince her, or she was like, nah, man, like you need to.
So the first time I brought it up that I went to music, my mom's like, 공부나 해. Go study. And then my parents were like, oh, like the easiest path in life is like studying.
Right.
You'll get a job afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, because they thought I was just kind of like 먹부려ing kind of.
Yeah.
Which was kind of true.
What's that mean?
Like just kind of doing it for show, like you know, just putting the front, but like, not really wanting to do music,
really?
But just being like,
so
this
just for the fame or like
this cool shit, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But then at that time I started like writing songs by myself, and then my parents didn't know at that time, but they were very supportive of me doing music as a hobby. So like they were like, oh, get lessons and stuff.
Yeah.
And then one day like my parents like, my dad was like, I was just practicing my own songs, and my dad came in, he's like, oh, what song is that? And I was like, oh, it's a song I wrote. And he was like, oh, can you like play them for me? And so like that day I sung like, I had like maybe like 8 songs I written. So like I sung all of them in front of my parents. And then I guess maybe that kind of changed their view.
Oh, wow.
On me. So like, I think he does have a little bit of talent. And so after that, I asked him like, I really want to do music.
Okay.
Like then maybe you should try to go to school first, and then maybe, you know, pursue something.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, so I have 2 kids now, right? And so for my, you know, they do the torjabi that you grab. You know, normally there's like a flute or something, like something to represent music. I just did not even. No, we don't have music in our house. Like I don't let them listen to music. I don't like
Don't do what Appa does. This shit's hard, man. No, but you know, like we all understand why our parents, even someone like your mom who you know was a musician, or singer, like they know how fucking hard it is. It's tough, right? So they don't want their kids to go through hardships, and they much rather be like, my job is to make your life a little bit easier. But easy and happy are two different things, right? And so like, you know, that's that generation. Like if my kid goes up, I want to do stand-up comedy, I'd be like, you gotta tell me a joke first. Right? I gotta listen to it.
But there's the added pressure, right? Of your parents immigrated or
So I think they like chilled out as they grew older. So like they're very supportive. They're like now they're like, oh, like as long as you're happy doing it, like you should continue to do so.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He calls it happy or like or supportive. I call what my parents are doing to me is giving up.
Giving
All right, it's the same kind of thing, but like supportive and 그래 뭐 씨발 뭐 하고 싶으면 하는 거지 뭐. It's a little different, right?
I can see your parents like throwing up diplomas and
Yeah.
stuff, like all that stuff.
And I would be like, you didn't pay for shit though. Like I paid for my own college, right? Anyway, so now that like you debuted and you know, like obviously you didn't do it for the fame and the mud, right? But then, you know, when we first get like that first bit of attention, and I don't mean attention by like the outside people, but by quote unquote the business, something kind of you feel like you're gonna level up, and this is a start, and it's just gonna be like straight up from here, right? But then obviously we all know in any of the entertainment business, it doesn't go straight up. So like, what were your hardships when you were like, oh, this is not as easy as. Not as easy. I don't want to say easy, but like it's not going in the straight linear path. Like you're gonna hit some, you know, a few bottoms. You know what I mean?
I think it was just hard. I think for the beginning is because I felt like I was writing songs, but a lot of my company was saying it was very like American sounding. They wanted more like Korean sounding songs, and so like it took me a while to like try to write something Korean, but then like
what's the difference? I mean, aside from the lyrics, like what would you say
I
is
think like what they wanted was like in a couple American songs, like sometimes like in the chorus, like it's kind of like one, like it doesn't really blow up sometimes, but like they wanted like in the chorus it has to blow up, like you have to feel something. And so at the time I was just kind of writing songs how I wanted to, and then so I had to kind of like figure out how I could put that into my music. And so that was kind of a struggle at that time for that. But then, and so because of that, my start was kind of late because I couldn't really write songs like that for a while. And then, but then, I think that's I think that was the biggest reason.
You can't. It's like all your life you're training to be a baseball player, right? And you're right-handed, and you're up at you're ready. You can knock them out of the park, right? And they're like, well, in Korea, you have to bat left-handed. I'm sorry, but it's like you can't like overnight just like become a different kind of writer, right? Than you're used to. So that's got to be frustrating.
Also, I think the struggle was like. Because I didn't want to lose my identity, which I felt like was my songwriting. I kind of wanted to push that, like, I wanted to do the songs that I wrote. Right. Songs from other people.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think that's also a reason why it was kind of like.
Yeah. Because, like, for the most part, like, I think that people can, they can point out when you're not, you know, being honest, and especially if you're not singing your own songs, then you have to find a connection with that song.
Right.
That's your job, right? But if you've written a song, the connection's already there, right?
It's built in.
Yeah. The same goes for the way you write songs, as well. You know, like if you're more like you know my music, right? It's very flat. My music is all flat. There's no hook really, and sometimes I often don't even put a chorus in. And so I would probably have a hard time. I have had a hard time with Korean labels here, where it's just like, I'm just like I'm past that point where I can, change it up, so I totally understand that. It's like a really frustrating to have to pivot. Right. So
I get it. Like, Korean style comedy and American style comedy, even in the stand-up world, is you gotta be a little bit more, how do you say, silly.
In Korean?
Yeah. You gotta be a little bit more light, because you go super dark, they're like, I don't know if I should laugh at this, right? So, not just your music though. Again, before we rolled, we were talking about like you've been here for a little over 10 years, right?
Yes.
Actually, it's gonna be 12 soon, right? Yeah. How do you identify? You're talking about your identity. What is your identity? How do you define yourself? Like, do you feel more Korean? You know what I mean? I asked you as a joke. I was like, "Do you dream in Korean now, or like
I heard that's like the thing. Like, if you start dreaming Korean, it's like, oh, you're very like assimilated to Korea. But I still dream in English. But like, I feel kind of like a lost lamb, kind of like I don't really belong in either or right now, because like I grew up. My adult life I grew up in Korea,
right?
But then a lot of people still see me as American. Like even here, it's like, oh, you're Kyopo, so like you're American. Right. But when I go back to the States, like everything's changed from what I've known. So like I don't really feel like I belong there either. So like I'm kind of like in between somewhere right now.
Yeah. I understand that feeling. I even have a joke about it.
Oh,
it's kind of like we are like the bulgogi burger at McDonald's, right? So because like a Westerner, like an American from afar, that looks like a hamburger. They eat it, that's not a fucking hamburger, right? You know what I mean? And then like Koreans, they'll be like, they'll bite it and be like, it kind of tastes like Korean food, but then that's not fucking Korean food. So you know what I mean? We're the bulgogi burger. Da 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 da. Bam. So how are you dealing with this? I'm not this or that.
Oh, like I think the biggest problem is I feel like I'm not good at either or language now. Like it's like confusing. Like if I don't speak English for a while, like I start like pronouncing words kind of differently than I used to. And if I just speak English for a while, my Korean gets like really, really weird. Like the 발음, like the pronunciation gets really weird. So it's hard to like kind of like balance it, I guess.
So do you have to like on your calendar, do you be like, all right, today is fucking Youngho Day. this is Korean Day.
So back when I first came to Korea, like I didn't really practice my Korean that much. So like my Korean wasn't improving for like the first 4 years. And so I thought that was kind of a problem. And so I decided to kind of like cut off my ties with like my Kyopo friends for a while. And so I just hung out with like Korean kids for like 3 years, and then my Korean got really good. But then I wasn't really thinking about it, and I went back to America, and then I had to speak English there, right? And then so I was speaking English, and like a lot of my pronunciations came out like Korean, like Konglish kind of way, and then I got really embarrassed from that. And then so when I got back to Korea, I kind of like cut ties from my Korean friends for a little bit, and I started hanging out with my Kyopo friends again, because like I didn't want to like lose. I feel like because like everyone kind of sees me as like American, so like, I don't want to be bad at English. Like I feel like if I'm gonna be bad at something, it has to be Korean. Then it is like for.
Oh, so okay, I get it.
So I was like, I gotta stick on to like at least my English.
No, because I feel the same way. Although aside from Bobby, like I don't speak English. Or when I'm in like
most of the people he hangs out with are Korean people now,
like
right? And they're all
like full blown Korean. So like I'll catch myself going, "Yo, man, it's how I turn on the aircon." Like, you know what I mean? Like God damn it! Like and I could feel it, and so I'm worried because when I do go back to even visit or whatever, like, and I'm gonna try to do shows in English to be like, yo, Danny Oppa's back, motherfucker, right? But then it's gonna come out all like fucked up, and I don't want that. And even with this podcast, like sometimes I'll listen to it and I'll be like, wow, why can't I speak English? There's this like weird buffering going on, ums and ahs, right? So yeah, we should speak more English, guys, because David's right. If we had to be shittier at one language, it should be Korean.
I'm all set on that. Like I always initially agree. But my English sucks too now. So I can't find simple words that
I struggle with finding words sometimes.
Like in the simplest words. Like one time I was like, how do you say Dangkong jam in English? One time I was like
peanut butter.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's like, wait, I did this past weekend. Like I couldn't say decaffeinated.
Oh.
I kept saying decaffeinated. Like I was like trying to find the right pronunciation.
So you put the emphasis in the wrong syllable?
Yeah. So like I spent like a minute like, what's the word?
Decaffeinated.
Like so I know it now because I finally figured it out. But so I just always feel, I just try not to speak. Like my wife's Korean and her parents live with us and they are from Jeolledo, Gwangju, Jeolledo, and they speak like Saturi.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't like everything is wrong. Like I try to speak to them. Some of the words I say, like they're like, don't say that in public because they won't know what you're talking. It's like, what do I do then? I just sit in the corner and I like watch Netflix. Or like,
you're this.
My kids don't know what I'm saying to them. It's a tough life, but I enjoy being in Korea overall because it's safe here. Like like I grew up in New York in the 80s, so it was really shitty back then and like unsafe, and I was running everywhere. Here I still find myself walking fast, but it's the first time I felt like safe. Like there's no guns, there's no like cops that are like
assholes.
Yeah.
Although they're not assholes in Korea, but I think they're too nice. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like cops shouldn't be like LAPD, NYPD, like stereotypically scary and like assholes and like, you know, like I've been cuffed before and just for no reason really. And you know what they'll do is they'll cuff me, and then you know the car was running, so the hood's hot, right? And they'll put my face in the hood, right? I'm like, you motherfucker, right? Like, you know, like that kind of assholeness.
Unnecessary. Yeah.
But if shit goes down, for the most part, you think that there's gonna be some sort of solution because of this cop, right? But here, like I've seen so many people like curse out cops like to their face, and then you know, and then they're all like, I want cops that look like they can arrest you physically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want dudes or, you know, people that look like they 공부 존나 잘하고. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so I've jaywalked in Korea a few times.
Yeah.
While a cop was parked there, and I looked. I didn't even like, you know, in America, you go, oh shit, and you kind of like not even make eye contact. Yeah. I played the fucking staring contest with this motherfucker.
I have a jaywalking ticket that I got in LA for $185.
Wow.
I framed it because it was ridiculous. Like I was like, how do I for jaywalking? Oh man, yeah. Like I feel safe in Korea. That's my number one thing, and I want my kids to feel safe too. I wanted to ask you, like, now that you know, the last couple of years because of COVID was like really lockdown. Even like live shows like that was difficult. Like they don't let you clap these days or like shout or like
now
sing
you
along.
can, but
you can't sing along. It's like, well, you couldn't for like 2 years.
Yeah.
What have you had opportunities to perform in the last couple of years, or has it been just
it hasn't. I haven't had much opportunities to perform. Yeah.
What did you do with that time then?
Well, I just signed last year with like my label, so I've been kind of preparing for that for the last couple of years. And actually, I was in between kind of transition at this time. So I was in a band up to like 2018.
Okay.
And then I decided to kind of restart my solo career.
Okay.
And then so like it took me a while to like find like who I was.
Okay.
So like for like the last 2 years, I've been like listening to a lot of music and like seeing like what I liked, and I just started like writing songs.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's been kind of like a transition period the last couple of years.
As an introvert, do you do you prefer the studio or the stage?
I actually like both. Like although I'm introvert, like I don't know what to say on stage, but like I do enjoy performing. Like it's really fun for me. So
do you have like how do you say 무대 멘트, stage banter?
No, I do not.
Oh, you really.
I'm like I don't know what to say up there. I'm like
this dude in his broken Korean tries to do stand up in the middle of it. Right?
Well, because my music they don't have high points. And especially most of the times when I was with a label, they had me opening for a lot of artists, right? And so most of the audience didn't know my music. So I was just like, all right, they're not going to like my music. So I got to at least show them a good time. So I worked more on my on my, how do you commenting? Stage banter.
Yes.
And my so, right. I don't know. Kyopo brain. But I noticed that when I did a good job at least entertaining them in between songs, that like allowed me to keep going. I attribute a lot of like my longevity at a Korean label to that, not to my music or my live performances. Like, so for me, I'm an introvert as well, and so I prefer. I kind of like both too, but then. It's interesting because I get nervous like in front of, like if there were more than 5 people at dinner, it's like 10 people, then I get anxiety. I get like really weird. It's really weird. I always feel like I shouldn't be there. I can't wait. Like I'm trying to figure a way out of the situation. But when I'm on stage,
even if it's 5-10 people that you all have like, you don't have to be friends with them, but you have you're familiar with them.
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's one person that I don't know, then it kind of kicks in.
Oh, yeah. Really?
I'm kind of like that too.
Yeah, right? Yeah. That's a real thing. So but when I'm on stage and there's like, let's say 100 people, for some reason, I'm fine. Like I don't get that kind of anxiety. I just feel like, oh, I'm allowed to be here.
Yeah.
Like like this is my, like I'm allowed to be in front of all these people. And I don't, it's weird. Like as an introvert, like,
I mean, I'm an introvert too.
That's true.
But I mean, I have,
sense,
but you know, what's interesting is that like, I also have, what do you call it? Like a phobia of a bunch of strangers. So it's claustrophobia, but also xenophobia at the same time. So it's like if there's a bunch of people that I don't know and they're all up against me, like a packed subway. Like when I first came to Korea, I was like, yo, fuck this shit. Cause I remember just going like this and just freaking out because it just basically is just
too many people.
Just all on you. And it was summertime, it was just bad. And as I remember the first time I came to visit, I was cabbing it everywhere. Right. And then now that I live here, I'm like, I can't. Yeah. I'm not balling like that. You know what I mean? So, and right now, you can't catch a cab, bro. Right now, so it's like ventis are ×3 now. So now I'm just stuck. You know what I realized the worst bus is? The late night bus. All the end buses.
Oh man.
Oh dude, you are just on. You're just it don't.
You might as well be hugging each other.
Yeah. You're like a fucked up statue, or you're just like, right? Like it's terrible, man. But so how about you? Like you've been here for 10 years, like, and you said like Bobby always says that he likes Korea better, right? Are you on the same boat, or are you kind of half and half, or you're like, I don't know yet?
I think I do like Korea better too. Like the safe thing, like I do feel safe here. Like that's one thing, and like it's so convenient. Like here, like everything's really fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Like so like I think I got accustomed to that. So every time I go to America, I'm just like, let's go.
Everything from internet speed to like it's like. I like what do you call it, the tipping,
the lack of tipping. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So here, although I do, I feel bad for part-timers that work at really low wages. Maybe tips would make it a lot better, but overall, I love not having to think about tipping. Like when I go back home, I don't know what the standard is. Like 10% for this, 20% for dinner. I don't know what it is.
It's standard 20.
It just makes me like really like I'd rather not be in this situation. Like, so, and a couple of times I forgot to do it. I forgot to tip.
There's that stereotype.
You know what else they do there? There's a tip when you sign for something. There's a tip option. Even when you're getting something to go, like a cup of coffee to go, and there's a tip thing.
Yeah.
What do I do? Can I put 0? Like,
I do. I'm like, nah, man, you didn't serve it to me like that. Like, you didn't take it away from me. You know what I mean?
Why do they even have an option for that? If it's like, because they said hello, or they were like very bright and like, I don't know, like, why is there an option for tipping for to-go things?
But my question is, like, some people that have worked in the service industry, in the restaurant industry or whatever, like, versus people that haven't.
Yeah.
That is very different in terms of,
maybe
you know what I mean? Because like
somebody.
Some people that have been like, like even if you're a barista or whatever, right? You're like, yeah, man, motherfucker, we made this coffee for you. Like, there's show some gratitude type of attitude.
Yeah, but the coffee's already like $6.
See?
Like just
as a consumer, like I get it because I'm kind of in the middle. I only did it briefly in high school. Imagine me fucking being a busboy at an Italian restaurant, right? But I've done it like really brief, and I couldn't do it because I just hated people, like like the customers and like hey, blah, blah, blah. But I've tried to tone down on the tipping in terms of like complaining about it, but I don't write unless it's a restaurant or where they bring it to me. Mm-hmm. Here you are, sir. The Big Mac. Did you order the Big Mac? Here you are, sir. Right. If they place it, then then I will tip.
Well, in the States, they don't have delivery for McDonald's, right?
Yes.
For places like that, right?
Yeah. Unless you go Uber Eats or like you do one of those like.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But like, let's say, you'd have to tip for if like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but now most of the delivery apps in Korea, they have like a delivery charge.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They went up a lot.
Yeah.
Did they really?
Yeah,
they really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's not as cheap as before now.
Well, things are changing here too, clearly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that because I watched the soju prices. When I first came here, it was like only. Stock. It was only like $2, like at a 포장마차. And now, depending what part of Seoul you're at, it's like 5,000원 now in Gangnam, right? Or like it's 3,500원, like across the river. But like those prices are going up too high, too fast, like makgeolli prices and stuff. I know that cigarettes apparently like doubled in price since 10 years ago.
Yeah,
right.
Because it was $250 when I came to visit, and now it's $450. Yeah.
In the States, I heard it's like $25 a pack in New York.
Yeah.
Wow. Right? And like $18 in LA.
Yeah.
Like, so when I think about those things, I can't really complain about like soju prices going. Soju in New York is $20 a bottle at a restaurant. In LA, it's like $15 a bottle.
Something like that.
So the things that annoy me about things that are changing in Korea, when I just have to think about America, and I'm like, oh, actually, it's not that bad. Like overall, I really love everything here.
The one thing I always do, like, if I had to have one thing that I miss, like Korea is great about a lot of things, but I think one thing I do really miss is like
tapatio.
Good tapatio, like good. Number one, like West Coast, like Oakland has some really good Mexican food, right? You know what I mean? But like good Mexican food, like the truck stuff, like the Roach Coach truck stuff, that type of flavor.
Like the stuff that they had even. Like now, there's a food truck culture, right, in the States.
Yeah. No, but I mean before, like where it's like there's a paint picture of a fucking Aztec warrior, you know what I mean? And has some crazy ass like Spanish name like Las Adelitas or A La Estrella or whatever. Yeah. And then, you know, like they get graded, right? Like you get A, B, and C, and then they use like if they get a B, they put the B sign and then put Urito. So you know, like shit like that, right? Like I want like that kind of you know, just greasy shit. Yeah. And you can't find that here, number one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was like in the search for a good sandwich. Like a deli sandwich. Like so not Subway, not that kind of stuff, but like a real pastrami. Yeah. Right, whatever. And so I remember 10 years ago they had like rye posts, which like kind of hit the spot, right? Yeah. Yeah. And then recently I went to a place called Shoutouts. It's in like Mangwon and then one in Yeonnam. They have like a Reuben. They have a pastrami. Wow. They have a few of those, right? But they're like $15-$16.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I was like, let's see.
I mean, they are back home too.
Yeah. So I was like, let's see what it tastes like. Does it remind me of home? And it's all right.
It's all right? Oh, that's good to hear.
But it's not like, oh my God, it's like Langer's pastrami or, you know, like it's not like back home.
Well, those kinds of foods here, like the labor intensive, like it takes a long time, right? Or to get it right for like that kind of thing, right? Yeah. A burger probably is easier to wrap your head around in terms of if you're a cook or a chef.
By the way, since he's from San Francisco, there is a burger joint
here.
No, in San Francisco that like, to me, I don't know why. I always think about if I had to rank a burger that I've eaten. There's one burger. It's a chain called Super Duper.
I've never heard of that.
Dude, Super Duper is so good in San Francisco. Like, and it's very simple burger.
I've never heard of that.
Dude, I ate that shit and I was like, why do I like it so much? You know what I mean?
It should be a thing. It sounds like it should be a thing in Korea. They should bring it over.
Is it like expensive?
I mean, maybe I'm sure it's like $8 to $10 like a burger.
So it's not super duper expensive.
Yeah, no, it's not super. No, but like, you know, they say that the meat is like, what do you call it? Like range-free, cage, grass-fed beef, like, you know, that kind of quote unquote, you know, like farm grown, whatever, organic, whatever. I don't know. But I ate it going, oh my God, this is like a very clean tasting burger, you know?
What do you miss from back home?
So I miss Mexican food the most.
Okay.
And then like around back where I used to live, like Vietnamese, like pho was really good.
For some
reason, everything in Korea that just doesn't hit the spot.
It doesn't.
Like something about the soup. It's just not. Something's missing.
Yeah.
So those two are like the things I miss the most. And actually a good sandwich too, like a deli sandwich.
Like here, I think Mexican food is getting better, but you still can't find like a proper burrito or torta.
Or a right kick salsa, like the hot sauce, right? Like, it has to be that right, like, oh, this is going to fuck me up tomorrow, but it's good.
Even though it's like in a little plastic thing, like you want to save it. Like you take it home because it's that good. Mix it in with your eggs or something.
But you know what I think it is? I think it is the scarcity of available chilies and ingredients. Like limes are super expensive.
It's getting better though. When I first came here, I think it was like $5 a lime. Now you can get it for like 1,000won a lime or like 1,500won a lime.
But is it like real lime or is it anigan lemon?
What's a fake lime?
The lime juice, you know, like you know.
He talked about this a few episodes ago, but he was
I was at an Outback. Like it was like 12 years ago, right? Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and there was a picture of a Corona with a lime in it. I said, "저 Corona 하나 주세요." And they gave me a Corona with a lemon in it. And I said, 여기 사진에는 라임이 있었는데, and then the worker was like, 그거는 안 익은 레몬이에요. Fuck you, dude. Right.
Oh my God.
Right. So you know.
Oh my gosh.
But you know, just to push the with the excuse as if like I've never seen a line in my life, you know. So, you know, I think it's the now that, you know, because people travel in Korea and whatnot, but the availability of ingredients you know, or the price point of these ingredients. Like, you know, even the cilantro tastes different from back home.
It does. It's not as strong.
Yeah. It's like lighter here, you know. So
it's true.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it is impossible to fully duplicate like Mexican food, or even even the halal guys, right? Like it tastes different from in New York.
Yeah. But like I think we've been here long enough. I think that at least my palate is changing to be more Korean. Like even when I go home, things are too salty now for me.
I guess I feel a little bit like it doesn't. It's a little bit different than how I used to remember it.
Yeah.
Do you mess with like goguma pizza and shit like that? Like the all right. So you take a stance.
It might be an age thing because I've crossed over.
Yeah.
I'll eat anything with pizza.
I don't like it when they have the wedges on the pizzas. Like potato wedges. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
All right. Something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
But that's going too far.
Yeah. I was like, sometimes I'm like, come on, man. Like, you know, give me. Look, I'm not expecting like New York style pizza or whatever. I'm not like or OG, but I'm like, let's pay respects. You know, let's pay respects.
Or call it something different.
Yeah. Okay. Like don't put like fucking Fritos chips and corn in it. And then,
why not?
Oh, I don't like the corn too.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. See,
Right.
I'm like, see, David still got the.
Talk to me when you're 45. It's just around the corner. Like, I just like the idea of pizza. I like pizza in any shape or form. Even like when I take a shikbang and put some tomato sauce on it and like a slice of cheese on it, that's pizza to me. Like, anyway, we'll move on. Danny's starting to get mad. I can see his lips puckering.
So holy shit! It's crossed an hour. So David, like so you say you were in a band and now you're trying to do your solo stuff. Like in terms of, and so I'm curious, when you were in a band and you said Blink 182, like what it reminds me of, like there was this radio DJ that made fun of that whole genre.
Oh, wow.
Right?
The Blink 182 genre.
Yeah. Like, I wish my parents loved me. Right? Like that angsty, you know, like angst. Yeah. But so like
emo.
So I'm sure like we all start like, you know, you follow the you copied the CCM singer until you're like, I gotta find my own. And I'm sure like you had to find your own voice, right? Like, what is your voice? If you had to describe it, like, who are you? I'm not trying to imitate, but like, obviously, like, in what way has it evolved, do you think?
I don't think I really copy anyone anymore now, but like, it's like, I think I sing very like clean. Like, I don't really do runs or like have anything. It's more like kind of speaking kind of singing. So it's kind of like,
okay.
So you don't.
Yeah,
like,
I don't really do like a lot of like.
You don't Wanye or like they make fun of that. There's that black dude Greg that lives here.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah. But everybody makes fun of the way he.
Does it run on?
Yeah.
Well, because he can do it and he does it well. Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Only a certain amount of people can actually complain about that.
George Young.
People.
Kim Joan. Well, clean.
Clean, yeah.
Yeah. That's good. No, because, you know, I don't know. I mean, when I liken it to like for example, basketball, right? Like if I don't know if you guys are basketball. I mean, are you a Warriors fan?
Yeah, I'm a Warriors fan.
So there's a basketball player in the 80s named John Stockton, right? He is the leader in assists all time or whatever.
From the Jazz.
Yeah. But his ass don't go between the legs and like behind the back, and
he's just efficient.
He does it when he needs it, and it's like you said, efficient, right? And then there's some players now just styling, right? You know, and it looks crazy, you know, like Steph, Kyrie, they do crazy shit, right? But I go, every now and again, I respect the John Stockton for his efficiency because his stats and numbers prove that he's a shit, right? So,
I would say, you know, that's like Dolly Parton. In the music world, like she's got the flash and stuff, but then she also has the writing credits on it.
You know, or
damn.
I wonder. I mean, obviously, I was an adult when I realized that the song "I Will Always Love You" was a Dolly Parton song, right?
Yeah.
So I thought for a long time it was Whitney Houston's song, right? Right? It's Dolly Parton's song.
And Dolly Parton don't care. She just likes the paychecks.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, holy shit! Like she must have made an extra killing when Whitney took it over for the Bodyguard soundtrack, right?
Probably more than the original. But.
Yeah. So like in terms of just singing, I mean, performing, do you also like not only for your own stuff, but do you also like write for other people?
So I've tried to like dabble into that, but like just recently I kind of like joined like a team of like producers. So like, cause I guess like they call it top line, which is like the melody writing part. So like I just joined them recently to try to see if like we could sell some stuff.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Nice.
It's very important. Yeah.
So now that COVID has relatively opened up and like it's, I don't say it's stopped, but it's kind of chilling out right now. What are your like immediate goals and plans?
I mean, for now, I wanted to. So since joining this label, I've been pumping out like one song per like 1.5 months. So I've got like 5 songs out so far. Nice. I was supposed to release one in May, but I got COVID, and so like I couldn't record for a while, and so it got kind of pushed back. So my goal is to continue to try to push out singles like as often as possible.
Dope.
Now.
Nice. Okay.
So those are my plans for music, and I hope to be. I want to be able to perform now live because things are opening up. So hopefully, I could get some gigs.
Nice. Nice. Well, if you have like any social media, SNS stuff, that we'll definitely put it on the description of the YouTube and whatnot. Anything you want to add to older? Our fans are kind of like they're in their, I would say, when I looked at the analytics, like late 20s to early 40s. So
any message for
any message?
Demographic?
Be healthy and be happy.
That's actually the right. Wait, you caught COVID, right? So like did you have the like no taste buds or whatever?
I just had what's 몸살?
The like flu?
Like flu symptoms for like a couple days, and then I couldn't sing for like a month. Like my
really?
Even right now I get like throughout the day, like maybe once or twice, like it kind of stings a little bit, like once in a while. So like, but I've gotten to the point where I could start singing now. But like for this whole month, I just kind of like dropped music for like a month. Because it was like stressing me out every time I try to sing. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I can't sing after? But it's getting better. So,
well, everybody, as David said, be healthy.
Yes.
Be happy.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on, man. Like, no, this is, like, to be honest, like me, well, before you came, I was like, oh, we don't know this dude. Like, what if this is like a 30-minute episode, right? But no, man, it didn't feel like that long at all, and we had a good time, man.
Time went by fast.
Yeah. No, thanks for doing this, and thank you for watching.
Yeah. Also, one last thing.
No.
Promise us right at this moment, once you're too busy for shows like this, to please come back one more time.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
We got it on camera right now. Like, I'm gonna send this clip to you when you're big and famous. You're like, hey, you promised. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.